Welcome to the Explainer. You know, when you first look at circle geometry, does it just feel like a huge tangled mess of lines and angles? It can be super confusing, right? Well, we are going to change all that today. We're going to turn that confusion into a serious puzzle-solving superpower. Okay, so take a look at this thing. Wow. At first glance, a diagram like this, it's pretty intimidating, isn't it? You've got lines everywhere, angles, a circle, and that big old question mark just staring at you. It's basically a classic geometry mystery. And that's the real question, right? Where do you even begin? It kind of feels like you need some sort of secret code just to make the first move. But here's the good news. You don't need a secret code. What you need is a toolkit. And I promise you, by the time we're done here, you are going to have one. So here's our game plan. We're going to build out this Geometry Detectives toolkit, step by step. First, we'll look at the mystery. Then we'll cover the basic toolkit. After that, we'll get into clues from the center, secrets of the circumference, and how to connect with tangents. And then we'll put it all together to solve the case. All right, so before we start collecting our tools, every good detective has to look at the crime scene, right? So let's set the scene for our investigation. Here's what we know. We've got a circle, BD is the diameter, sides AB and AD are equal, and we've got one angle, 35 degrees. Our job, our mission, is to figure out the size of angle ADB. Just lock this picture in your mind. We are definitely coming back to it. Okay, first things first. We've got to start with the fundamentals. Every good detective needs the basics down, right? These circle theorems, they don't just appear out of nowhere. They're built on the rules of lines and triangles you probably already know. So let's just do a super quick review. Okay, these are your absolute bread and butter rules. You've got angles on a straight line, vertically opposite angles, and all the stuff with parallel lines. The key thing to remember is that in geometry, you can't just say something is true. You need a reason. And a lot of the time, these properties right here, they're going to be your reasons. All right, let's talk triangles. Inside a circle, there are two types you absolutely have to be on the lookout for: isosceles and equilateral. And you might be asking, why? Well, it's all about the radii. Remember, a radius is any line from the center to the edge, and they are all equal. So the second you see a triangle made from two radii, boom, you've got yourself an isosceles triangle. It's automatic. And this right here, this is the key, honestly. The second you spot radii making a triangle, a light bulb should just go off in your head. Finding that hidden isosceles triangle, that's often the very first step that cracks the whole problem wide open. Okay, so the basics are down. Now let's start adding some of the really specialized tools to our detective kit. We're going to start with clues that come from the very heart of the circle, the center, which you'll usually see marked with the letter O. Now this first one, it's an absolute powerhouse, seriously. It connects the angle at the center of the circle directly to an angle on the edge. It's really simple. Whatever angle you have at the center, the angle made by the same arc up on the circumference is always exactly half. Or, put another way, the center angle is double the edge angle. Super useful. Okay, this next one is your go-to tool anytime a problem starts asking about lengths. It's pretty cool. If you draw a line straight from the center so that it hits a chord at a perfect 90-degree angle, it cuts that chord perfectly in half, every single time. And what does that give you? Right-angled triangles, which means you can suddenly bring in other awesome tools like Pythagoras. Okay, let's keep building. The next set of tools in our kit, well, they don't even need the center of the circle. This is all about the secrets of the circumference. We're just looking at the relationships between different points on the circle's edge. So before we get all technical with the official name, I want to give you a visual trick: the bow tie rule. Seriously, if you see a shape inside a circle that looks anything like a bow tie, it's a huge clue. Just know that the angles at the pointy ends of the bow tie have a special relationship. It's a great little trick to spot this next theorem in a heartbeat. So what is this bow tie rule really? Well, the official fancy name for it is the angles in the same segment theorem. All it really means is that if you pick 2 points on the edge, any angles you make from those 2 points that land on the same arc, they are always equal. Okay, what if you have a shape with 4 sides, a quadrilateral, and all 4 of its corners are touching the edge of the circle? Well, that has a special name. It's called a cyclic quadrilateral. And because it's so special, it has its own set of rules you're definitely going to want in your toolkit. And this shape has 2 main properties you really need to remember. They are game changers. First, the opposite angles always add up to 180 degrees. Always. And second, if you extend one of the lines to make an exterior angle, that angle is exactly the same as the interior angle on the opposite corner. Both of these are fantastic shortcuts. All right, time for the last section of our toolkit. Now we're going to talk about connecting with tangents. These are lines that don't actually go through the circle, they just kind of kiss the edge at one single point. And you guessed it, they have their own special rules. This one is super simple, but so important. Wherever a tangent touches the circle, if you draw a radius to that exact point of contact, it will always create a perfect 90-degree angle. No exceptions. And trust me, finding a guaranteed 90-degree angle in a geometry problem, that's like striking gold. Okay, this next one, the tan chord theorem. It's a little more advanced, but wow, is it powerful. It's like a bridge connecting the world outside the circle to the world inside. Basically, the angle between the tangent and a chord is always equal to the angle in the alternate segment. It's a really cool connection to have in your back pocket. All right, this is it, the moment of truth. Our toolkit is packed. We've got tools for the center, for the circumference, for tangents. We are ready. It is time to go back to that original mystery and see how we can use our new kit to solve the case, piece by piece. Okay, let's do this. Let's walk through the solution together. First thing, step 1, what do we see? I see radii, OC and OD. Our toolkit says radii are equal, which makes triangle OCD an isosceles triangle. So if OCD is 35 degrees, then ODC has to be 35 degrees too. Easy enough. Okay, step 2. Now that we know 2 angles in that triangle, we can find the third. Angles in a triangle add up to 180, right? So 180 minus 35, that gives us 110 degrees for angle COD at the center. Now for step 3, let's pull out a big tool, the angle at the center theorem. If the angle at the center is 110, then the angle at the circumference from the same arc, CBD, has got to be half of that. So that's 55 degrees. See how this works? Step 4. Let's look at that line BD again. The problem told us it's a diameter. That's a huge clue. A diameter creates a semicircle, and any angle in a semicircle is 90 degrees. So the angle BAD has to be a right angle. We're almost there. Steps 5 and 6, the final clues. The problem also told us that sides AB and AD are equal. Wait a minute, that means triangle ABD is also an isosceles triangle. And since we know angle BAD is 90 degrees, the other 2 angles have to split the remaining 90 degrees between them. So our mystery angle ADB is just 90 divided by 2, which is 45 degrees. Done.
And just like that, case closed. What looked like this impossibly tangled mess at the beginning just became a simple, logical set of steps. By using our toolkit, one tool at a time, we figured it out. Seriously, congratulations, detective. You cracked it.
So what's the big lesson here? The key takeaway is that having the tools is one thing, but having a strategy is everything. You've got to start by scanning for the obvious clues. Look for the diameters, the radii, the tangents. Organize those theorems in your head so you know which one to grab. And please, never, ever forget to hunt for those hidden isosceles triangles. If you do that, pretty much any problem becomes solvable. So there you have it. You have the complete toolkit. You're ready to crack any circle geometry code that comes your way. These theorems aren't just a bunch of random rules you have to memorize anymore. They're your instruments for deduction. So I guess there's only one question left to ask. What mystery are you going to solve next?